The first kind of real conflict I had with my family and parents was about religion.
Really?
Yeah.
About what?
Religion.
Oh, religion.
And I was raised Catholic. My parents and my family is Catholic, so Christians. And I was raised in a way that we would always go to church every Sunday. They would teach me to pray every single night, and I don't know, all these Christian holidays as well, and da da da. And there was a point in my life when I was like 10 or from 10 to 12, I guess, that I was really, really religious, but it wasn't like, it was very personal as well. So every time I prayed, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be like aware of what I'm saying. I'm gonna really try to have a conversation with God or whatever is out there. And then I remember something that kind of strengthened my beliefs, my faith, was when my grandpa died. Because I wasn't that close to him, and I would see him once a year, kind of. And then when he died, I felt so sad, and that was very unexpected. And I was like, I need to find a way to like communicate with him or to just feel better for myself. So every time I prayed, I was like, yeah, so now I want to talk to my grandpa, and I would just like picture myself like hugging him or telling him that I loved him and that I was sorry that we were never that close, and that would make me feel so much better. Even if it was just in my mind, in my imagination, it was something very nice. And then when I grew older, at some point, like my faith kind of decreased little by little, and then I got concerned about that. I didn't want to pray anymore. I didn't want to go to church. I wouldn't pay attention when I went to church. And I was really concerned about that. I remember talking to my friends, like, hey, I'm just tired of this. I don't want to do it, and I feel so bad because that's what they taught me. If you're not religious, like, you're going in the wrong direction. And then like they told me that maybe I should just like keep on praying, even though I didn't feel it as much as I did in the past. And then I met this friend. He's very close to me still, and he had similar opinions about religion as I did at that time. And so I found like he was the first person I felt understood me, kind of how I was feeling at that moment. And so we would kind of complain, like critically talk about religion, not just like something faith and yeah, there is God and we should follow him, but more like look about religion as an institution, and we would have very interesting conversations. And after that, I realized that it's fine if I don't feel associated with a religion anymore. That doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. And so I was fine with it. And then when I started telling
Can I ask you when you met this friend? When you met this friend?
I met this friend when I was 15. I had just turned 15. And and then what? And then yeah, I started telling my parents that I didn't want to go to church anymore. I tried to tell them my point of view about religion. I don't even remember what I said. I just know it wasn't what they wanted me to think. And so we would quarrel all the time, and there would be a lot of tension. And it was horrible because my sister, my older sister, she thinks like me, kind of, or I think like her, I don't know. And so we would be together in our points of view, and then there would be our parents, so it was like two bands, and then we would all, or my mom would end up crying, and then I would end up crying, not because of the conversation, but because of my mom. I would feel so bad about that. And yeah, it was like that every time we mentioned religion for like those 2 years. It was very, very, it was a very weird conversation to have, and I would feel bad every time after having that. But then I went to WC, and I think that made my parents like realize that I was growing up and that I had my own opinions, right?
Right.
And so I think it was very tough for them, especially for my mom, having me away from her. But I don't know, like
Then
when
how did you feel like about the separation at the time? Was all excitement or is also?
it was all excitement. Like UWC was my dream, and I was doing what I wanted to do, and I was excited about the challenge. I wanted to challenge myself to see if I was being who I really was. You know, I just wanted to find myself in a new
Right.
place.
You're young.
And yeah, and then when I came back from UWC, like my parents were more open about religion, and yeah, we still like have some points of disagreement, but I think we just understood that we have different opinions, and that's fine. Like they don't ask me to go to church anymore, um, and yeah, like I think they are fine with it now. And then after that, I realized that yeah, maybe I'm not a particularly religious person anymore. But if they asked me to go to church, I think I would do it now, not for myself, but just for them, because I know that would make them happy. And it's just an hour of being sitting like there, listening to whatever.
And going to church is not necessarily a purely religious experience, right? It can be a social experience. That's something I feel.
And yeah, I think I would just do it for love, for them. um, but yeah, that's it. And yeah, so now when we talk about it, I think it's fine. Like they probably don't like the way I think, that they just accepted it. But of course, there are some other topics that are still very controversial when we bring them up. um, I don't know. I usually try to like, if I see that the conversation is gonna go in the same direction as it used to be, like to end up all crying or mad at each other, I just try to like stop for a second and really think what I'm saying and let them know that I'm not against them. I am just I do not agree. It's not even that I'm in disagreement with them, because I understand that they have their own beliefs and values and whatever. I just try to let them know that I value their values and I acknowledge them and respect them, but I have different thoughts about X topic. But it's hard sometimes, because they don't seem to understand that sometimes. And so what I do, if that's happening, is just that I go little by little. Like I tell them, look, this is what I think. What do you think about that? Is it right or wrong? And then they say, yeah, it's fine. And then I'm like, okay, now from that, I also think that this, and this. Is that right or wrong? And they're like, yeah, they're fine. And I just go little, little. And then in the end, I end up like giving my point of view, the point of view that they don't like. And now I'm like, from what I just told you before this, do you think I'm right or wrong? And then they say, no, you're wrong. But I think that having like that background kind of helps them understand that I don't think I am a bad person. I try my best to be a good human, and I know they are trying as well.
Right.
But so yeah, I just try to build some. How did you say it? Like a base for our thoughts, and then it's fine to disagree. And yeah, and then like usually at the end of those conversations, if it's successful, then it's fine. But then probably if I bring the topic up again, like 2 or 3 days later, I'm gonna have to do that all over again because it's hard. But
And it can feel a little exhausting, I think, because I did the same thing with my mother, and I just feel that you say you love me, but like, why don't you never listen to me? Like, as if all this thing I care so much. I care even about the way I demonstrate my ideas to you. But like you,
it is so hard, yeah. And then sometimes they tell us, my sisters and I, like, have we been bad parents? Why do you have to like think so different from us? And it's just because you wanna like be in our country. And we're like, we try to tell them like, no, hey, we love you and you're our parents and you have raised us and like, but we're just gonna disagree in some topics because we are different generations. Maybe you are more conservative, and maybe I am slightly. Maybe I'm a little bit more liberal. I don't consider myself to be like completely liberal, but, but yeah. And then yeah, it is very exhausting. And so like now I think that if we start talking about something and I feel some tension, I will try to do that. But if I see that that's not gonna take us anywhere, I just like stop and let them talk, and I just don't say anything else anymore.
Yeah.
Because yeah.
I think in my case, like, it comes to a point I have to accept that even though we used to be like completely open and closed when I was a kid, like we cannot be exactly like that anymore. I still love them, they still love me, but like we cannot show everything that we think to each other anymore, because it will bring us to abrupt conflicts. Like, it's not that we try to intentionally lie anything, but it's just
keep some things for yourself because you know it's
for
gonna
now at least.
cause some trouble. And also, I think that's something with your parents, at least in my case, is that I feel that they still see us as kids.
Right.
They see us as their children, and that's fine because they love us and they want us to be okay. Like, they want to protect us. But at the same time, like, sometimes that protection can become like an impediment for us to grow or to be more independent. They want us to have us under their wing, but there are some experiences that are going to shape us, and we're going to have different values. There are some things that I have experienced, like going abroad to study, that they won't be able to understand.
Right. However much they try to, or how much they love us. It's
Yeah.
so sad that I have to realize that. But
And also, there are some things they have experienced that we will never be able to understand because we are too young, or because maybe nothing like that is going to happen to us, or I don't know. But yeah, so
do you think, like, because like I just realized that we are so young, and our education, like our growth has been shaped mostly by the liberal environment. So at some point we may believe that all these liberal ideas are somehow superior to like all the conservative and old ideas. And I don't know, like for now, after talking a lot with my parents and after conversations like this, I just think that the ideas and opinions are something shaped mostly by the environment as a means of survival and as a very natural result.
and we want to belong to.
Yes,
where we
like they really cannot, completely agree with you because they live in that environment. The environment shapes their opinions, and they have to hold their opinions as part of their identity, which is dependent on that environment.